As time goes on, more and more increasingly now, I'm getting the question, Vin, can we expect another direct stimulus payment in the next CARES Act 2 bill? Because I haven't weighed in on this issue yet, I figured it was about time that I do that. With the IRS claiming that nearly 130 million Americans have received their first stimulus payment, many individuals are starting to look to the future and what they can expect next. Now, I do know a lot of you listening to this program have not yet received your first stimulus payout, and so I'm going to leave some helpful videos in the description below for you. If this is your first time joining us on the program, consider subscribing and turning on the bell notifications. We would love to have you come along with us. So in order to tackle this issue, the best thing to do is to look at the steps that another direct payment to Americans would have to go through, and that will help us determine if it can actually happen. So let's do that. The first step is going to be the soonest, which could happen next week, which is Nancy Pelosi's next proposal for the CARES Act 2 program. Step 2 is going to be the House debating and changing that proposal. Step 3 is going to be the House finally passing that proposal and sending it to the Senate. Step 4 is going to be the Senate debating, changing it, possibly stalling it. And this is a step where it could actually completely stall out, be voted down, or sent back to the House. And then step 5 is possibly the House revisiting it, revising it, sending it back to the Senate. Step 6, if it can make it to the president would then sign the bill and pass it. So what are the chances that a direct payment to Americans can make it through all of these steps? So looking at step 1, Nancy Pelosi has already basically told us all the major things she's going to include in her official proposal. Things like more hospital funding, more testing, a lot of state and local aid, up to about $800 billion for that, and also another round of direct payments to Americans. So I absolutely think we will see that in step 1. After step 1 is done and Nancy Pelosi releases her official proposal, it will go into step 2, and the House will begin to debate and discuss what should be changed and added or taken away from her proposal. There are now 233 House Democrats and only 196 House Republicans. I have not seen any resistance from any House Democrats in taking out or not including another direct payment to Americans. There may be some resistance from the House Republicans, but because they're a vast minority, there's not much they can do. So although the direct payments to Americans might be changed up and shifted a little bit in the House discussion, I think it will make it past step 2. Once it gets on to step 4, this is where I'm going to be able to offer you the main part of my opinion on what's going to happen with the next direct payments to Americans. This is where everything could stop in its tracks, and this is my thoughts. I think at this point, there are enough Senate Republicans and Senate leadership that want to see what is going to be the result of the nearly $3 trillion that has already been passed, especially as individuals are starting to get back to work. So in that effort, I think this is where they're going to stall the passing of the next CARES Act 2 bill to see what things will look like, because they are saying that they want to get back to normal. And as we get to step 4, we are going to start approaching the end of May into June, and we're going to start to see some results. What does it look like with people getting back to work? Are we seeing more cases of coronavirus? Are we seeing less? What are the percentages looking like? And this is where we're going to be able to determine whether or not we're going to see another direct payment to Americans. So in my opinion, as they're starting to look at all the data coming in, with more and more states reopening up all of their facilities and all of their businesses, if it looks like the coronavirus epidemic has stabilized or even continues to go down, I don't foresee another direct payment to Americans. However, as individuals are getting back to work and we're starting to see results come in that the coronavirus epidemic is starting to creep back up and it's looking scary again, things may start to shut down, and I think at that point you will see another direct payment to Americans. So percentage-wise, people are going back to work. Everything is looking really good. Coronavirus is stabled out and or it's continuing to go down. As the Senate Republicans are stalling out the bill, I think there's a 10% chance that there's another direct payment to Americans. Things are looking bad. All the data is coming in. The coronavirus rates are going back up. Things are going to begin to shut down again. I think you see a 95% chance of another direct payment to Americans. If I'm not allowed to use any of that data, and I had to say, well, we're not going to be able to see what the results are going to be like before the passing of the bill, I give it a 50-50 at this point. I am definitely not one of those people who are going to sit here and tell you, oh, you're definitely going to see another direct payment. Now, Senate Republicans don't want to come off as heartless, so I do think they will make some proposals. Things like rebolstering unemployment, inserting some sort of a payroll tax option, help for hospitals, testing, more help for small businesses, and possible loans. So I do think that they're going to include all of that to say, see, look, we still want to support the economy as we're getting back to work, but I don't think they're going to go big and bold, and big and bold is what would include another direct payment to Americans. Now, I do have my own personal opinions on the correct way to go forward at this point. However, on this channel, I leave my personal opinions largely out of it. I did, though, start up a Patreon. If you would like to support the channel by that means, if you support with just $1 a month, I do give out a monthly newsletter in which I actually share my own opinions. If that's something you would be interested in, I will leave the link below and you could support me and the channel through Patreon. I would encourage you, though, if you don't have any extra money to spare, please don't support the channel that way. Just watching the videos is enough. But if you feel like this is something you like to do or you get a lot of value out of the channel and you would like to do that, consider clicking on the link and joining us there. And then you would get my monthly newsletter where I really reveal what I'm actually thinking about the direction that America should go into. So consider that. But I hope you guys found this information valuable. I will continue to keep you up to date. As always, I will catch you guys next time.